Hi, Jase. How's it going?
Well, you all right?
Yeah.
Had a good week?
It's been an eventful week. I had my second vaccine last Wednesday.
Which one did you have?
Pfizer. Originally, I was going to have the Moderna, but that was with the university, but they had a delivery problem. So I was able to get my vaccine with the city. I just wonder whether I actually might have had a bit, because I had a cough up until the second vaccine, and the cough has disappeared. So fingers crossed. Right. But there's still a state of emergency here, and also we had record rainfall. I swear I've never seen so much rain. It's raining now. It's been raining, I swear, for the best part of 10 days. So I had to drive to my in-laws on Saturday. It was just non-stop torrential rain, aquaplaning, and so where we are in Fukuoka, I think in a 3-day period, it was something like 60, getting on for 70 centimeters of rain. But in some parts nearby, they had like over 90 centimeters in 3 days of rain. As I said, it's the record. Landslides, flooding. Yeah.
Weather's all over the place, all over the planet, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. I mean,
in Greece, they've got those fires. In Sicily, they've had the hottest temperature ever recorded, or something, 46 degrees in Sicily.
I saw that in Sicily. Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's getting on for boiling point, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw. So the pictures agree. It's like a disaster movie. It's like watching a disaster movie, and it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, I've had my second jab. I had it a while back now. In June, I think I had the second jab.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so typical of our UK government. Only they could create a class system of jabs. So like, I've had the lowest class jab. I've had the AstraZeneca, which some countries won't let you go there if you've had that and nothing else.
So why have you
only the Tories?
Why have you had?
It was just what was rolled out at the time when the 50+ age group was called for. That was what was on offer. So it was take it or leave it.
Yeah, I can't believe all the people that have died. I just can't believe people just don't seem to be that fussed about it. So watching from here, I think a lot of that.
Well, certainly here, I think a lot of it is to do with the the massive screw up government have made and stuff. I think that hasn't helped. I think a lot of people have listened to what they've said in the early stages, the initial stages, and then felt a little bit like let down and stuff. And I think after a while, people just had their guts full of it, and then just decided they were just going to do their own thing. And the media has a big part to play in it as well, because the media doesn't always give the full picture, as you know.
Absolutely.
And it kind of tailors it to what it wants you to hear at the time. And basically, there are a lot of people out there that are quite gullible, that literally believe everything that is put in front of them or shown, in front of them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it is. I mean, when I was working in the initial lockdown period, I was still working for a while in the shopping mall, and the amount of people that were just going about their business like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And getting really hostile, because we had to change like the public toilet routines and stuff like that, and getting really hostile with us. And I was spat at and everything, just because people weren't being able to do what they would normally do. And you think, well, what's wrong with people? I don't get it.
But, to be honest,
people are people at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the kind of behaviour that sort of caused me to sort of move away, to be honest. Where I live, we don't have any of that stuff. So what's going on? So
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to sort of like generalise too much, but at the moment there seems to be a general feel in the UK that there's quite a lot of nastiness, quite a lot of hostility. There's quite a lot of like xenophobia, homophobia, a lot of bullying, a lot of petty crime, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's kind of hankering back to what it was like in the 80s. But I don't know whether it'll get any better. Don't know. Everybody just seems to be out for themselves at the moment.
Anyway, let's talk football.
Anyway, yeah.
So, it feels like we're back into the swing of things. So, but before we get into that, did you see that Gerd Muller passed away there the other day?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So do you have any memories of him?
I don't actually remember him playing, to be honest. I suppose the only ones that I can really remember from that sort of era, from the German team that I can remember actually seeing play, on the TV and stuff, were probably Beckenbauer, Paul Breitner, and the keeper Sepp Maier, and Bertie Vos. And they're the only ones that I really kind of remember playing. I know I probably must have seen Gerd Muller. Did he play in the '74 World Cup?
I was just going to say, did you see the 70? Do you remember the '74 World Cup final? If you don't,
probably my earliest World Cup finals for remembering all of the games was probably '78.
I'm really surprised at that for someone who remembers George Reeves. So.
Yeah, but don't forget. I came from a background where my dad had no interest in football at all, and it wasn't really until my mum got that boyfriend after my mum and dad split up that I even had any interest in football at all. So I was quite a latecomer to football, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I can remember stuff further back than 1978, obviously, but I remember watching the 70, 75 FA Cup final. Was it West Ham, Fulham?
Was that 76? Was that 75? Was it? Trevor Brooks.
I think 76 was Southampton Man United.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 75. Was it
which is the one that I remember. No, so Southampton Man United was Bobby Stokes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the one I remember in full. The earliest one I remember in full was Southampton Man United. But I do remember watching some of the 74, 75. Because even my granddad, he was a lover of sport, but he wasn't really into the football as such. He was into his cricket and his horse racing. But my dad's probably got more interested in football in recent years because of my love of Cheltenham Town and stuff, a bit closer to home, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I can remember the '74 World Cup. So, in Gerd Muller, he scored the winner. So he kind of swiveled the ball that was a little bit behind him, and that was.
Yeah, I seem to remember he had a bit of a turn on him, didn't he?
Then he had a kind of a special jump up and go like that, and his figures are very impressive. I think I saw he's got about more than 30 goals in five seasons running or something, and 60 international goals from 90 performances or something. So
one thing we'll have to do one week is we'll do our all-time 11.
Yeah. So I'd have to have some time to think about that, to be honest. So,
yeah, that's what I said. We'll do it one week. We'll plan that one ahead.
Or maybe we can just do it off the cuff. That might be
good. Yeah,
that might be more fun. Okay, so of course I was watching the City Spurs game on Sunday. What struck me about that game was just the fans and the atmosphere. So it just makes a big difference.
Made a difference, I think.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. So what are your thoughts about whether that had any effect on performances last season? For example, Liverpool tailed off. Do you think that had any impact on their play?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it had an impact on everybody, to be honest, because certainly early on, when we were watching games, when there was no fans, there were a lot of strange results. And when I say strange results, I mean results that you wouldn't really expect to see. With sort of the bigger teams going down at home to the lower teams, which you wouldn't normally get.
Yeah.
I mean, I know home advantage is meant to give you an advantage of a certain amount.
Yeah.
But I do think the fans make a difference, to be honest, because I mean, you get a lot of big time players that play better in front of people. You also get a lot of, conversely, you get a lot of players that actually go hiding as well if there's no fans there, that kind of stuff. But you also get it the other way as well. You get some players that play better with no crowd. Mickey Nuttall springs to mind, but anyway. Yeah, I think there was a lot of games that would have been affected, I think, more if a crowd had been there. I mean, certainly on the weekends games, you could see that the crowd was making a difference.
Yeah.
Not all of the games, obviously, but certainly some of them. And there was obviously quite a lot of hostility between Man United fans and Leeds fans, which I guess you can always expect that, I suppose. But I don't get it. I don't get. I mean, there was a lot of rioting in the streets apparently in Manchester, and I just don't get the stupidity of it. I know alcohol plays a big part, but I just don't see the point. I mean, I think obviously there's a massive gap, isn't there, between a true football fan and somebody who just wants to go out and cause trouble and just uses football as an excuse to do it.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure that'll ever be separated, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I've been to quite a lot of games with you, so the only, maybe I'm forgetting something, but the only slight problem I remember having was at St Albans, and some couple of guys, St Albans guys, came behind the goal where all the Cheltenham fans were, and they looked like they were going to cause some trouble before they were moved away. But other than that,
do you not remember the Oval game at home?
What, the title-winning game, you mean, or?
No, but long before that, when we were stood at the Bowling Green end.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember any trouble.
So basically, we had a bunch of Yeovil fans that had like sticks and metal bars inside their trousers, and then there was a signal from one of them. I think it was just before half time. I don't know what the signal was, but it was just they decided to, run amok through our fans, just slashing out with these sticks and stuff. And there was like two policemen in the ground, right?
looking
and I remember all the fans on the terrace, all the Cheltenham fans, just like legging it, around the side, because in those days you could go up the other end and stuff. And I'm like this, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I ain't moving." All right, and I'm just stood there like a pillar, and they're just going past me with these bloody sticks or whatever. And then I remember the reinforcements coming in and basically moving us lot off our own terrace up to the other end of the ground so that the Yeovil fans could stand where they wanted to stand. And I'm like, what the hell is all that about? And a few of them were arrested.
Yeah.
And the court case just happened to be on the following year on a Tuesday, the night that Yeovil were playing at our place. I mean, how ridiculous does that want to be? Really, seriously.
Yeah.
So it all happened again, didn't it? Because they had their court case, they had their court appearance, had their little fine, and then they rock up at Warden Road in the evening. Lovely.
Yeah. Before that, I remember when I lived in Ireland. So I lived there in the late 70s, early 80s, which is kind of a violent period because it coincided with the H blocks and so on. So I think in the 60s, they'd had a kind of a cross-border cup competition, and then they halted it because of the troubles, and then they started it again in the 80s. And I remember Sligo got drawn against Linfield, who were kind of hardcore unionists. I don't know nowadays, but they were kind of they were a loyalist club. So I remember they came down to Sligo, they caused a lot of trouble. It was pretty violent.
Yeah.
But in England,
I remember. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I remember that game between England and Ireland. I think it was Northern Ireland. I think at Lansdowne Road, when they were lobbing loads of concrete.
Yeah, that was
onto the pitch and stuff.
Yeah. So I actually,
but a lot of those ones that were arrested were actually supposedly Cheltenham Town fans.
Wow. Well, actually, when I was back in Cheltenham, I used to go home from the games 15 years ago, and I used to see some Cheltenham fans walking down the streets singing loyalist songs and No Surrender and all that kind of stuff.
I think that element's kind of gone now from Cheltenham, but there were some unsavourables there at one point. But I do remember other games we had where there was violence. Well, I say violence, trouble more than anything. And that was, I remember Hayes, the quarter-final of the trophy. Do you remember that in the paddock?
Yeah, I wasn't there. You were there. I remember you saying I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was there, all right. Yeah. And also, we've had a lot of scuffles with, here I go with my favourite topic, Welsh teams. Newport County, Cardiff, Swansea. We've had loads of trouble with them. I remember going to Newport with you, I think, when Mel Eves was playing for Cheltenham.
That was at the old Somerton Park, wasn't it? And we were.
Yeah, and I remember we just rocked up, minding our own business, just stood where we wanted to, like you could in those days. And I remember getting frog marched in front of the main stand down into a little pen, like a little cage.
It was
we put in there.
It was a cage. It even had a roof on it. You couldn't get out.
Yeah, it was a cage.
It was a cage.
It was a cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, shocking treatment that was.
Yeah.
But I think to be honest, that cage was obviously put there for away fans' safety. To be fair.
Yeah, I remember going to Fisher as well, Fisher Athletic.
Oh yeah, Fisher.
I remember there used to be a bit of trouble when even in the Southern League days, there used to be some scuffles going on when they used to come to Wadden Road. But I remember there was a stabbing as well. A kid, I think it was just a kid or his dad stabbed a Cheltenham fan.
Yeah, one of the Herberts, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right.
In the hand, wasn't it? In the hand, I think.
But I think they got him.
Yeah, and those two guys. Yeah, those two guys were the quietest guys you'd ever wish to meet as well.
Yeah.
Dogan Arif, wasn't it? Sure.
That's right. Yeah, I think that was the thing I enjoyed about non-league football. You didn't see much trouble. It seems to be commonplace even today in the Premier League. I think maybe at the stadia they don't have as much violence, but I think they probably just transported it down to the local tube station or whatever. There are still those truck problems going on.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I live in Portsmouth, as you know, and the fan following in Portsmouth is fantastic. You got to say, but obviously, like every club's got its nutters.
Yeah.
Right. There's no getting away from it. Every club has got its nutters, and Portsmouth's no different. But I have to say, I have not ever witnessed any problems. You get hordes and hordes of fans, walking around where I live and stuff to go into games and stuff. And you see a lot of away fans, walking in the same vicinity and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've touched wood, I've never seen any bother at all. Although, obviously when they play sort of rival teams, the police presence is pretty heavy, I have to say. And you get a lot of, obviously, door staff on the pubs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
there are certain pubs that don't allow away fans and home fans only, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's pretty good natured down in Portsmouth, to be honest. They get big crowds, big crowds, for a lower league.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I noticed, haven't they got 6 points from 2 games? Did I see that? Portsmouth.
They have, yeah, and they would have been top had Wickham not beaten us.
Yeah, Wickham have got 6 points, yeah. Yeah, getting back to that,
yeah,
where you never actually witnessed any problems. So that's similar, again, getting back to Ireland. I used to go, everybody associates Ireland with great friendly fans, but they played in a couple of finals when I was there, and they lost both of them. And then, so you drive all the way up to Dublin. I remember soaking wet 2 finals. It was absolutely bucketing down. Then you'd get home, and then the next day, or in that week's paper, it was a weekly paper, you'd read Sligo fans trash Longford and all that. And you're thinking, what's going on? I never seen any of this. And sometimes you think whether the media actually exaggerate it sometimes. Okay, I'm not doubting that those events took place, but
there was a report I saw on, I've got a feeling it was Twitter actually, during the Euros.
Yeah.
That kicked off on Twitter, and then it just goes mad. It spreads, as you know.
Yeah.
And somebody was saying, same old England fans causing trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Are fighting with the Polish fans. And you're thinking, well, why are near the Polish fans? Because we weren't playing Poland, right? And when you look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it a bit deeper, the actual photograph that they printed was from like years ago.
I know.
It wasn't even in that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I just come to realise over the last 15 years just how deceitful our press are. They really are.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Anything to sell a paper, mate. That's what it is.
It's really terrible. Yeah. So actually, I went.
Yeah, I will never.
Yeah, as you might remember, I went to Germany in '88. So England played in the Euros. I went with Jerry, actually, who couldn't care less about football. And but I remember we were staying with somebody, a German person we'd met. So we used her place as a base, and then we went to the game. I think the first game was in Stuttgart, so I think the first game was against Ireland. So, and we had a car, so I remember arriving there, and then it hit you in the face, all these England fans, and they were embarrassing. It was just horrible. You might remember there was a lot of violence there. I saw some of their behaviour firsthand. I just said to myself, never again. It
is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. I mean, it has got better over the years. It's got better because there's much more security and stuff in the grounds. There's more CCTV, and I think, you know, getting away. You know, if you do something in a stadium now, okay, it might take a few weeks, but they'll get you in the end, right? Whereas you didn't really have that in the 80s, so they could literally do what they wanted. But I think, you know, I think the deterrents are there, and I think it has got a little bit better. Probably got a lot better, actually. But the elements are still there, and like you say, if it doesn't happen in the ground, it's going to happen in the tube station, or it's going to happen in the city centre, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not convinced the FA have weeded out some of the troublemakers myself. Seems to me that
no, they haven't.
It seems to me that they're just turning a blind eye to some of the people who are causing the problems.
Yeah.
So
but you know, I know we've touched on this before, but I think a lot of the violence and stuff, it stems from what's happening politically as well.
Yeah.
Without going into that too deeply, it does reflect. I mean, if you think back to all the violence in the 80s, you know, under the sort of the Thatcher years, if you like, when everybody was like repressed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's getting a little bit like that now. You know, obviously everybody's had sort of like 2 years of repression as well. And, you know, I think, you know, if you keep a dangerous animal locked up for a long time and you open the door, he's not going to be a nice animal when he comes out, is he?
Yeah,
he's going to bite you.
Yeah, I think some of those people have been emboldened as well, though. You were talking about those Yeovil fans who caused that trouble, and then they were. Why weren't they inconvenienced about the trial date? And so they were. It was like saying, "Oh, can you put that back till we visit again next year?" kind of thing. So, and then after that, we go and do it again, kind of. So,
yeah, but you also have to ask, you know, whoever arranges these things, right? Have they got no common sense either?
No, I don't think they have.
It's like, do they not look at stuff and think, oh, you know, well, when's the next Cheltenham Yeovil game, whatever? Oh, we better not have them here then. Oh, I know. Let's have them here on that exact day. You know, it's like, come on, who's in charge of this stuff?
Yeah, getting back to the fans, then I saw the highlights of the Brentford Arsenal game. So I think we were talking last week or the week before about what a great job they've done at Brentford. So actually, I saw on Twitter, I think there was a picture I saw the other day where they were down in Exeter. It was an away day at Exeter in the bottom half of Division 2.
Yeah.
But they were still, you know, you can see in that photo, though, they were still enjoying it. So, you know, of course, it's great that Cheltenham are in Division 1, but I still have great memories, you know, of wherever Cheltenham played in the past. You know, I remember in the FA Cup going away at Mangotsfield, or did we go to Ilfracombe as well? I can't remember. Bideford and places like that. So, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. St Albans away.
Yeah, St Albans away. Yeah, I remember that one. So, so did you see anything of that game? And there was a great atmosphere there. Brentford again. Brentford.
Yeah, I watched it all. Yeah, I watched it all. I was in the pub watching it, to be honest. Everybody in the pub, obviously Brentford to win. But we all said, you know, Arsenal looked terrible. They looked awful.
Yeah, I don't think Arteta's going to stay there much longer. The only thing that will keep him there is the lack of ambition of the owners. Then I don't think they're that worried about winning silverware. They're just, I don't know what dividend, whether they're getting, do they get dividends there or what? They're paying themselves salaries. I don't know at Arsenal, but they don't seem to have any ambition to win. They just seem to be using it as cash cow. So
yeah, and I know there's a lot of it had to do with obviously Brentford, still on the crest of a wave and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, the fans obviously were a massive part of what happened on Friday night. But they looked good. They looked organised. They looked together. They looked like they had the hunger and the desire to win. And they played some quality football, really quality football.
Yeah.
Arsenal at times looked all at sea, 6s and 7s. But having said that, I don't think, Brentford could play like that every game this season. And I don't think they'll get 3 points as easy as that in many games.
Yeah, I have to say, I thought that second goal was a foul on the goalkeeper. So
I didn't. I thought the keeper was looking for it, if you like, lunging into it.
Yeah, I think if that had been on the continent, it would have been a foul. They wouldn't have given it.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, I think we always get strange results, though. The first few games. That's why I always hate playing against promoted teams, because they're going to be really up for it, and you do get.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy before the game started that City were playing Tottenham away. One of the fixtures I've always hated, to be honest. But so I thought, let's just get it out of the way. And that they started off pretty well, but then things fell apart a little bit, not a lot, but
I mean, I would just put it down to Tottenham as a bogey team for Man City. I really would. The writing was on the wall with the whole Kane situation and the fact that Grealish was getting his first start.
Yeah.
The media were all bigging it up that Tottenham were going to get annihilated, blah blah blah. And that's fuel for the fire, isn't it?
Sometimes I think it's almost like Guardiola's testing his players. How bad a team can I pick and still win, kind of thing, sometimes. Because when I know a lot of players have been laid back because of the Euros and all that. But when you see Ake, we talked about his mistake against Leicester in the Community Shield, and not only was Ake playing, but Mendy was playing as well. And I was looking at some tweets just yesterday, and when those players play, City's loss percentage goes up. So it wasn't a surprise, but sometimes you wonder why. Why is he playing these people? Because if these guys play, we seem to run the risk of losing. It was like...
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with John Stones at the moment. Is it just because of the Euros?
No, he only came back, started training just last week. So Walker didn't play. De Bruyne came on for the last 10 minutes. Foden's injured. Bernardo Silva didn't play, but there are rumours that Bernardo Silva could be leaving. Maybe one or two other players could be leaving as well. So maybe because
I just think Ake is a bit out of his depth.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought initially when we bought him, I thought, oh, that's a good signing. But I have to say, every time he plays, he's making mistakes, and he's cost City a lot of games. As you know, City don't lose that many games, but a lot of the games that they do lose coincide with his presence on the pitch. So every time I know I'm not the only City fan who, when they see Ake in the starting 11, they kind of put their head in their hands, because he's just not performing. But you got to say, John Stones, for a long time, he was having problems, but the last season he really seems to have pulled it together. So I remember saying to you a few years ago that I think in that World Cup, he seemed to have a mistake in him every game, but he's cut that out. I'm sure there's still going to be the odd mistake here and there. For example, in that Champions League final, he looked really nervous in the first 20 minutes, especially. So, but he really seems to have moved up a level in the last 12 months. So I think the reason he didn't play on Sunday was because he's just come back. So I'm sure he'll be playing. But the problem is, and he's just signed a new 5-year contract. So Stones is there, Diaz. The problem is Laporte, Aymeric Laporte. There are rumours he could be leaving. He seems to be kind of a moody character. If he's not going to get picked, he's going to throw a tantrum. So there are rumours he could be leaving. And Guardiola's like that. If the players are not happy, then he says, please leave. I think you were talking about Bill Shankly used to say that. But with Stones being prone to injury, then that will leave City short if Laporte does leave.
I think it's early days, and I don't think there's any worry for Man City, to be honest. I think they're the sort of team that will probably win the next 30 games, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, as you know, I mean, they can win a lot of games on the trot. Yeah, I agree. Also, I thought, I'm not begrudging Spurs their win, but on another day, it would have been a draw, or even City could have nicked it. It's just people base their opinions often on the result. I mean, but results don't always tell the story. The shot that won it was a badly hit shot, and Diaz went to try and block it. It missed him, and it fooled Ederson because Ederson thought Diaz was going to get something on it. So it wasn't even a very well.
Mahrez had a chance. 9 times out of 10, he's putting that in the back of the net.
Well, I think the problem is, though, with all the opportunities they have, they're just not pulling the ball in the net. And of course, they've let go of Aguero. But I noticed Aguero's arrived at Barcelona, and the way I read it, Aguero might not be able to play because they can't register him because they're 1.3 billion in debt or something. So how you've got to ask the question: how if we had FFP, were Barcelona allowed to get that far in debt?
Yeah.
So I mean,
it does. It does make you wonder. It does make you wonder. But I would say that I think Harry Kane will probably go to Man City, and I think if he does, then that'll be season over. To be honest, although having said that, I know I said to you last week that Man United will be tough to beat, and they dispatched Leeds with ease on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not convinced if Kane goes to City, it'll be all over myself. Like Liverpool had a good win at Norwich. I didn't see it, but 3-0 away at Norwich sounds pretty comfortable to me. And
no, even Cheltenham could do that.
So not very. I would have expected not a bit more from Norwich, to be honest. We were talking about opening Brentford on the opening day and all that. So I was kind of a bit disappointed.
Norwich will be the perennial yo-yo team as far as I'm concerned. They'll be up and down, They started off well, I thought, against Liverpool. Played some nice football at times, but you can just see, if they play any of the top 5 teams, they're just going to get rolled over.
Well, you know who Norwich are playing next, don't you?
Man City, you know.
Yeah, so they'll probably go and win at City now. You watch.
I don't think they will. I really don't.
Okay, so
West Ham look good. West Ham look good, I thought.
Yeah, what do you think of David Moyes? He's somebody for example, when he was at Everton, I used to hear if he was in charge of Man City with all the money they had, he'd win the league and all that. So, to be honest, I've never been one of his biggest fans, but I got to say he's done a great job at West Ham.
He has, and obviously he went to Man United, but he was the first one after Ferguson, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Whoever went into Man United after Ferguson was always going to be on a hiding to nothing. I think personally, he's clearly a good manager. I mean, he made Everton look reasonably good. Personally, I thought Martinez did a better job at Everton, actually. But he's done a cracking job at West Ham. I mean, West Ham, everybody's favourite second team, isn't it, West Ham?
Used to be Man City, actually.
But no, I mean, obviously, I've got a bit of a soft spot for West Ham, having lived in Forest Gate for a while. I think he's done a really good job there, and I don't think last season was a flash in the pan with West Ham. I think they might even go one better this year, to be honest. I don't think the FA Cup's going to have a big bearing on the top sides. I don't think they care about it anymore. So I think that'll just be a distraction. I think they'll all be concentrating on the Premier. To be fair, I mean, it's great. The FA Cup's great. I mean, the FA Cup's great for teams like Leicester and your Wigans and all the rest of it. But I can actually see in probably less than 10 years' time that Premier League teams won't even compete in the FA Cup. I think the FA Cup will be from Championship down, to be honest.
I hope not. So, I noticed that I think this week is the first qualifying round of the FA Cup. So they had the preliminary round a few weeks ago. So I noticed.
Yeah, BBC is showing them live, apparently.
Yeah, so I noticed Sheffield, not Sheffield, not United or Wednesday, the original Sheffield FC, the oldest club in the world.
So I'm just looking at my chart on the ceiling.
Yeah. 1870, I think.
Yeah, I've got. Is it FC? Is it FC Sheffield? FC Sheffield.
Is it Sheffield FC or FC Sheffield? I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I've got a football map. I've got a football map on my ceiling.
Yeah.
Which is the old. It's the what was it called? The Bartholomew football map that I had when I was a kid, and the teams on it. Oh, geez. So it was approved by the Football Association, and you've got a map. You've got a map of the UK. In fact, I'll turn my PC around and you can see it for yourself. Hang on, bear with me. You can see. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it's got some cracking teams on there. So it's supposed to be showing on the map the colours and locations of all the clubs in the Football League, and in alphabetical order on the left, the badges, dates of foundation and grounds of these and the leading clubs not in the league. And then it's got some, facts down the bottom and stuff. But some of the clubs on there, you've got Amersham Town,
Yeah.
Anstey Nomads. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I might be following them on Twitter, actually. I've seen their name, but I don't know anything about them, but I know the name, yeah.
Aveley. I'm just looking at teams that like no longer exist or have long since gone. Got Bishop's Auckland and Bishop's Stortford. Bournemouth and Boscombe Athletic.
Yeah.
What else we got? Bridlington Trinity. Buxton. What else we got? Clapton. Actually, they're Forest Gate, Clapton. Crook Town. There's a name from that. Crook Town. What else we got? Edmonton. They're in London side, aren't they?
Yeah.
Frickley Colliery.
Yeah.
Glossop.
Yeah.
Grantham. Harlow Town. Harwich and Parkerston. Never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Hull Brunswick. I mean, there are loads of great names on there that you think, what happened to these teams?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to these teams?
But some of them are still going.
Yeah.
I mean, I see on Twitter some of them are still going. That Anstey Nomads. I'm sure I've seen them post stuff on Twitter.
It's a great name, isn't it? Anstey Nomads.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been in.
Some of them obviously have formed. Yeah, some have obviously formed the merged and done all the other things and gone on to be different teams and stuff. But yeah.
So so we were talking about Wickham winning at Cheltenham there. So no need to panic yet. So I think Wickham they were there or thereabouts last year, weren't they, in Division 1?
Yeah, Wickham were always going to be a good side, but apparently they were. Everybody, including the Cheltenham fans, were treating Akinfenwa like he was Messi. Apparently, so I didn't see what happened, but apparently, I think he was. People were queuing up for photographs with him and having their autographs with him and stuff like that. And you think, well, what are you doing that for? You know, we always know he has a good game against us, no matter who he plays for. And you always know he's going to like either set one up or score one or two. He's just one of those players, like in the Paul Davis ilk. You know, we're always going to be in trouble because nobody knows how to mark him or nobody knows how to pick him up. But I wasn't really shocked by the. I was more surprised. Andy Williams got another goal, to be honest. Age 35, and you were like, not being funny. I mean, Andy Williams. I got nothing against Andy Williams at all. He's a workhorse. He works hard. But if we're relying on a 35-year-old striker at the first couple of games of the season, what are we going to be like towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into early results. I mean,
oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. And fair play to him for getting on the score sheet again. I mean, if he goes on a great run at 35, then good luck to him. And Jamie Curtin did it in all the divisions. So good luck to him. But I think we definitely missed the skipper, Ben Tozer. Definitely missed him.
Why?
And he's had COVID apparently.
Oh wow.
He had a present last season, and he's missed the first two. He was on the bench, I think. But yeah, it's. I think it's going to be a long. I'm not worried just yet. I mean, I think if we go 5 or 6 games without getting a win, then I might start to worry a little bit. We've got Ipswich tomorrow night. Ipswich.
Yeah, that's tonight. Well, I can tell you
tonight for you.
Tonight for me. I can tell you a story about Ipswich. So as you know, in the late 70s, they were a force in English football, second only to Liverpool. And Bobby Robson was their manager. So I can remember Eric Yates and Alan Brazil, Paul Mariner, the Dutch guys, Arnold Muren and Franz Tyson and all those guys. I think George Burley, didn't he have a Cheltenham connection? So, but actually,
Paul Cooper.
Yeah, Paul Cooper. So actually, my aunt, my mother's sister, she, after she got married, her husband was a printer. They live in Australia now, but after they got married, they moved from Cheltenham to Ipswich. So, so we used to, my brother and I, my mother used to get rid of us for a few days, and we'd get the coach to Ipswich from the old black and white station. Do you remember all the coaches used to leave at 2:00? And these days from Cheltenham to Ipswich, I don't know how long it would take, but I'm sure it's a lot quicker than it used to be. It used to take 7 hours. Can you believe it, on the coach from?
I remember going to a Subbuteo tournament there once when I was a kid on a black and white coach. Ipswich Open. I thought I was never going to get there.
So actually, my uncle, he used to play Sunday morning football, but he said to us, come up when Ipswich come up to Ipswich when Ipswich are playing at home. But my mother didn't have a clue, doesn't know anything about football, so we didn't know when they were going to be playing at home and how we could find out whether they were playing at home. And this was in the 70s and we didn't have a telephone, you know, because we were poor and all that, so we didn't have a telephone. So anyway, I can't remember who decided. Anyway, when we went up to Ipswich, and what do you know? Ipswich were playing away that weekend. So, but we went and watched a football combination game at Portman Road, and I think they played West Ham, and it was 0-0 I remember that.
Ipswich Reserves, is it?
Sorry?
Ipswich Reserves, is it?
Yeah, Ipswich Reserves. Ipswich Reserves, yeah. So
combination league.
So that's one of those things, you know. I'm sure you're the same with certain places. You always look out for their results because of associations like that. So it's like Coventry.
Yeah.
Coventry's another one. So I always.
Tranmere for me.
So I always look out for those results. But of course they've gone downhill a bit since then. I think that probably just shows a few things, you know. It shows how football's changed financially, but also shows what a good job Bobby Robson did as well, you know.
Absolutely.
Manager there. So
Roger Osborne.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Was that 78? 78?
Yeah, he scored the goal and he got so excited that he scored. He actually got a concussion and had to go straight off. Wow. Yeah, brilliant. Bloody Ipswich. They won the UEFA Cup as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they played. I think they beat Alkmaar, but Alkmaar were a great team as well. So
Johnny Methold, right?
Yeah, might have been Johnny Methold. So they didn't have it all their way, and it was also two-legged finals in those days. So
no, Ipswich were really good. Muren, like you say, Muren and Tyson were great. I think they had. Who else did they have? Did they have Russell Osman for a while? Was it?
Yeah. Russell Osman, Terry Butcher, and then just before that was Kevin Beattie. He was in the centre of defence. Yeah. But Kevin Beattie had a lot of.
As well.
Yeah, Trevor Weinmark, that's another one. Yeah, Kevin Beattie, he had a lot of injury problems. John Walk, I think you
I
mentioned.
think he got one England cap.
BT.
Yeah.
I think it was more. I think it was more actually. I might be wrong, but I think he got more than that.
I'll have a look.
Yeah,
I'll have a look.
I think it was more than one.
Where are we looking? Hang on.
I think he played in that England-Scotland 5-1 game where Jerry Francis scored early on.
Early doors.
Yeah, Colin Bell played in that game as well.
He did. Yeah, he did. Kevin Beatty's dead now, isn't he? Is he dead?
Is he? I don't know. I got a feeling you might be right.
Yeah, he died 2018.
Wow. He couldn't have been that old. He wasn't that old, was he?
He was in Escape to Victory. Did you know that? He was in Escape to Victory.
Wow.
I didn't know he was in Escape to Victory.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he featured in the film Escape to Victory alongside many of his Ipswich teammates. I don't remember him in Escape to Victory.
You've got to check that
That's
out.
all. I'm gonna have to check that out. I am gonna have to check that out. How many England caps did he get? Come on. 9.
All right. Yeah, I think he would have got a lot more. It's just he was injured, so he would have had a lot more.
1 goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 goal. Oh, he attempted suicide apparently as well. Jeez. Yeah, fine. Yeah, so yeah, he's been gone a couple of years now. Of course, Paul Mariner as well recently.
Yeah.
Dropping like flies, as my granddad would say.
Well, it means we're getting.
There aren't many.
You are?
I was going to say there aren't many left of the 66 World Cup final, are there?
Yeah, who is left? Jeff Hurst is still around. Martin Peters, I think.
No, he's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, he died last year.
Wow.
Yeah. And Jack Charlton, obviously, last year as well.
Gordon Banks, just a year or two back.
I think Ray Wilson. I think George Cohen might still be alive. I'm not sure about Ray Wilson. Nobby Stiles is gone.
Yeah.
Jack Charlton's gone.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore's gone.
Yeah.
Alan Ball's gone. Martin Peters is gone. Roger Hunt's still alive. Jeff Hurst's still alive. But I was thinking of the German team as well. Yeah, that was left either. From Beckenbauer's still alive, obviously.
Yeah.
The guy that nicked the ball, Uwe Seeler, he died the other week as well.
Yeah. I saw something about that. So
yeah, he nicked the ball. What about? Dear, oh dear! I can't believe that Jack Charlton let him get away with that.
Okay. Anyway, Jase. So before we go, what are your thoughts this week then? Anything to look forward to in the football?
So I'm on holiday next week. Just letting you know. So probably won't be able to do one week.
All right, that's okay then. I get you. So we'll take a week break.
Then we'll take a week. Well, you could fly solo for a week.
Yeah, I think I'll take a break as well, I think.
Let me just have a look at next week's fixtures. Hold on a minute. So we've got a lot of championship games tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it's today for you.
Yeah, I know this. I just look at that. Even after 2 games, no team has got 6 points. Even after 2 games, no team.
In what? In the Premier? In the Premier?
No, in the Championship.
Really?
Yeah.
I know they have in League One, but
yeah,
strange. It's a funny old league, that Championship, isn't it? Really, because you've got a lot of big clubs in there.
Yeah.
But you've also got a lot of what I would call, lower division regulars in there as well. I mean, you would think that the likes of Swansea, Stoke, Bristol City, Reading, Fulham would be there or thereabouts, wouldn't you? But like you say, I mean, you've got the likes of Luton and Coventry, and they both come up. Who went up, didn't they? Luton and Coventry.
I don't even know where are Coventry playing these days. It's St Andrews. Where are they playing?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, why are they not playing at that Ricoh Stadium? I do not. Anyway, and then League One, we've got a full program on Tuesday night. Portsmouth at home on Tuesday. I'll stay in. Because you can't get anywhere. Steve Cotterill's in town. Portsmouth are playing Shrewsbury.
Yeah, I noticed they got 0 points after 2 games.
Yeah. Morecambe. I told you Morecambe would do well, didn't I? In League One, they've started well.
I think these days, though, you've got. I think football's a completely different game these days. They can use computers to analyze everything and to analyze.
Yeah, I've got to ask this, right? I've got a couple of rants before we go. One rant I have got is what's with all this bra stuff that they wear these days? What's that all about? Under the shirt they've got these like sports bra. What's that about? Does that actually improve performance, or is it just to stop nip chafing when it gets a bit cold on a Saturday morning?
Yeah, I'm sure there are some benefits. Well, you notice in the cycling in the Olympics, for example, the Danish cyclists, they had like special plaster on their legs.
Yeah.
So,
it was illegal.
So
it was illegal. They just put that in there.
It was legal or illegal?
Illegal. It was illegal. Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to do
apparently it makes you more aerodynamic or something.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that.
No. But yeah, so what I'm going to have to find out what these things are, because you would never have got me playing in one of them. Never in a million years. And the other rant I want to have is about kits. So the first rant I'm going to have, Liverpool's new kit, worst kit they've ever had.
I saw
somebody by far and away.
I saw that, unless it was you that posted that tweet.
It wasn't. It was me. I mean, it is the worst kit. I mean, what is those little bits of orange on there? What's that about? Yeah, you can't have a Liverpool kit with no white in it. I mean, what is that about? It's just whoa. Anyway, so that's rant number 1 or 2. Rant number 3, right? I was watching the Cheltenham game, or parts of it, and there's Wickham in their full regalia with their dark blue shorts. We're there, home team, black shorts. What's that about? So I put on Cheltenham's page, I said, just one question. Why were we wearing black shorts? Because, white, as far as I'm aware, doesn't clash with dark blue, right? And some wise ass pipes up on there, because it's our kit. And I'm like, no, it ain't. Because the FA, right? The kit that Cheltenham have officially lodged with the FA is white shorts, right? And the FA rules state specifically the home team should only change or deviate any part of their kit for purposes of the away side clashing. So if the away side's got you similar shorts that clash, but then the away side is meant to change, if in the event of the away side unable to change for whatever reason, then the home side would change that aspect of kit, right? The only other way it could be changed is if the referee, for whatever reason, decides that there's a clash for his benefit, right? no referee on this planet is going to say those dark blue shorts of Wickham's clash with Cheltenham's white.
Yeah.
So that we'll rule that one out for a start. We'll rule that one out. So why the hell are we wearing black shorts?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I hate when they wear the black shorts as well. I much prefer the white shorts.
Yeah. And I know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow night. Ipswich are going to rock up with their blue shirts and their white shorts, right? And we'll be in black.
That reminds me.
It's not the end of the world, but there is no such thing. And all these people saying, "Oh yeah, but the away kit, blah blah blah." There is no such thing as an away kit, right? And dear old Derek Goddard was with me on this, and he used to have a right old rant about it because whenever they, he used to get Arsenal that whenever they were playing away, they would always change to either yellow or that horrible ruby kit that they had. And he would get right on his high horse about it, saying, why have they changed? Because Arsenal wear red and they're playing Birmingham City, right? There is no clash between red and blue. So why have they changed to yellow, right?
Yeah, that's the
just
reason.
Because you're away. It is. Just because you're away doesn't mean you have to wear your away kit because there is no such thing. It is called a change strip and you should only change if there is a clash.
Yeah, it's money.
Does my head in. Absolutely does my head in. Right?
But I mean,
but I know what it'll be. I know what it'll be with Cheltenham. It won't be anything other than area have screwed up with the kit order. That's what it'll be. So they probably are meant to be wearing white shorts, but they're probably still on a boat from Italy somewhere.
Yeah, getting back to Ipswich, actually, when I was a kid, I had an Ipswich top. It had like the little white triangle here. Do you remember that? And then like a white collar here. Yeah, I think that kit thing. I know what you mean. They even have third kits as well. They have
a third kit.
They have first, second, and third kits.
Yeah, and some teams have a fourth kit.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I got a.
Anyway, so.
Yeah, I got a tweet as well from Keith Hackett. Do you remember him? He's ref.
Yeah.
Yes, about the pitch dimension. So I sent a tweet to ask whether they check the pitch dimensions before the game. So I assume they do. But he was saying, you were talking about before the season starts, how clubs have to register the kit. But he was saying as well, they have to register the dimensions of the pitch as well before the season starts. Yeah. And they have to stick to it. You cannot change it after that.
Yeah, but also within that, and this goes back to, gamesmanship and stuff like that. Obviously, last year, a lot of Cheltenham's success came from the long throw, right? Well, a lot of teams, once they cottoned on to that, they'd be moving their hoardings or advertising boardings a little bit closer into the touchline, right? So, I mean, that we would have done the same, right? But anyway, that's not there. What I'm saying is that the gap from the touchline to the end where the linesman or the assistant referee runs, right? That also has to be registered at the start of a season. So if a club is narrowing that because they're up against you in your long throw, right? That should be, forget it, mate. If you can't deal with a long throw, tough.
The other thing about that was, I know what you're saying about that, but also the towel. So Harry Kewell was going on about the towel, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. But if I was Ben Tozer, what I would do is I'd make sure there was a towel sewn in the inside of my shirt, and I'd just like under the shirt give it a bit of that,
Because when Cheltenham played City in the FA Cup earlier in the year, they were asking
Guardiola was
because they thought he was trying to interfere with Ben Tozer.
He deliberately stood in the way of Ben Tozer. Yeah.
But he said it. I don't know. He was just. I think he was.
Oh, he clearly did.
You reckon?
He clearly did. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the minute he's going like that, right? The minute he's going, well, you know he means it, right?
Anyway,
yeah. These things in football just really, really annoy me, and that's home and away kits, right?
Yeah.
Because I am going to count up how many times at home this year Cheltenham wear the black shorts, and I'm going to be making a right old song and dance about it, telling you, right? So there's that, and obviously Liverpool's kit as well. Absolute utter nonsense. Emlyn Hughes, bless him, would turn in his grave if he saw that kit. And the other thing is, if I ever am in the same room as Jonathan Pearce, I'm going to drag him over to the nearest set of goals I can find. I'm going to say, wrap your knuckles on that, mate, and tell me if it's wood or not.
I got a lot of gripes with the commentators. To be honest, I was watching the Spurs game the other day. I just had it on mute. I'm not kidding you. I just don't listen to the commentators because I know, especially Martin Tyler, I just know what they're going to say. So I swear I just put it on mute. And I'm sure Karen, I think it's great. I think it's great, you know, that there are women commentators now. So don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think it's good, you know, and Alex Scott and so on. But I got to say, listening.
Yeah, the only thing that annoys me about that whole Alex Scott business, I think she's great. I think she does a great job, and I've been mauled for saying this in the past, but I'm going to say it again. Every time she's on, a little caption comes up that says something like 137 caps for England, and I'm like, why is that a big thing? Why is that a big deal, right? I'm not being funny, but the England women's team, when she was playing, used to play like 4 times a month. You know, it's not. You can't even equate it. You can't equate it. And there's like there's the other thing as well. Yeah, I mean, it's great. She played 137 times for England. It's great. It's fantastic. But you can't equate it. That's what I'm saying, right? And also, you know, the Brazilian ladies or women's team as well, right? Does my head in every time they rock up and they've got the 5 stars on their shirt. And I'm like, you ain't won the World Cup 5 times. What's that about? It's true. It's true. I mean, they actually, FIFA have just told the Uruguayan men's team that they can't have, I think they had like 3 stars or 4 stars on their shirt because they had 2 for the World Cup and 2 for the Gold Cup or whatever it was. And they said, nah, you can't do it. So I'm tweeting the FA saying, well, if you're going to have a word with them, you better have a word with the Brazilian ladies as well, because they've got 5 on there and they ain't won 5 World Cups, mate. So there you go.
Yeah, just getting back. I think it's Karen Carney. So, but just listening to her, it sounds like I'm listening to Andy Hinchcliffe. They must have had the same. They must have had the same tutor. They're speaking. It's like they're speaking from their coaching book. You know, they're not speaking. Yeah. They're not speaking naturally.
Yeah. There's. I mean, it's great about the female commentators, but there is one, and I can't remember her name, but there's one that the Match of the Day have got, and she's so boring. She's boring. She's good because she knows her stuff, but you just know she's been trained how to be a commentator without the passion for football. Because whenever she tries to sort of get excited, she's still in the same monotone that she's been all the way through.
Is it Jackie Oatley? Or is it?
Might be. Yeah, it might be. She's always the same.
I've always felt the same about horse racing as well. For me, it's not what they're saying. Of course, what you say is important. It's the voice.
It's how you say it. So, how you say it, yeah.
But it's also the voice. So I just hate listening to Martin Tyler.
He should retire.
So, I mean, there were people like David Coleman, Barry Davis. They had fantastic voices. You listen to them, the game sounds exciting. You listen to to people like Martin Tyler, it's like walking death. It's just horrible.
Also, with Martin Tyler, he feels he has to be talking throughout the whole game, right? I mean, there's never any pause. So the amount of times he just rambles on about utter rubbish, it's a wonder he ever even has a co-commentator having a word in edgeways. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on co-commentators, because your likes of Hugh John and Barry Davis and John Motson and etc. never needed a co-commentator. Never needed one, because they could analyse the games themselves. They didn't need somebody else's opinion.
Also, those commentators, they commentated on the game as they saw it. When you listen to the commentators today, they've been preparing and they've got all these things they want to say prepared, and they try to shoehorn it in, even if it doesn't fit with what's going on the pitch.
John Champion is the worst for that. Shoehorning it in. These little puns that he's made up about players' names and stuff like that. And it's like, really? Yeah. Hugh Johns was there.
Yeah, I've lost track of what I was going to say. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what it was. So anyway,
sorry, that was me going off on my rant.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't rant here, you can't rant anywhere. That's why we're doing this. You can rant to your heart's content here. So
I was saving up the Liverpool shirt. As soon as I saw it, I thought, "What is that? I'm having a word about that." And this is the place to have a word about it. I'm telling you.
It's really frustrating me. I know as soon as I stop the recording, I'm going to remember what it was I was thinking about. It's really bugging me now. So yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, anyway, I got to go to work. I got to go to work.
All right, mate.
So have a good break and see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah, I'll stop the recording.